Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek at SPIEL 2016. I'm sitting down with Victor Serrato and Perepau LListosella, and you've brought us Topoum.
Topoum, yeah, exactly.
Great sound word name.
Yes.
What are we trying to accomplish?
So here what we have is, this is the last fertile ground in Europe after the First World War, and several clans of moles have found it and they are fighting each other to control the land. The target of the game basically is we will be building here a battlefield with our mole hills from different colors depending on the player, and the target is to create, let me put one yellow here, to create lines of sight between my own moles in order to score. I will score 1 point for each hexagon of distance, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1 of your own color. So I will get 5 points in here, which I will track in the board game. The rules are really simple. You only have 2 options during your turn. You can either enter into combat, which means I will take one of the mole hills with one of my moles and put it somewhere in the board and play a card. We will have 2 cards in our hand, which are hidden from the rest of the players, and we have 5 cards available for all the players. Playing cards from my hand are for free.
Oh, I'm guessing this is a victory point penalty for...
Yeah, the ones in the left get penalties for being played, and the last one will get you some award points. So after entering into the battlefield, I can play a card, do the effect of my active mole, which is the one who has just entered, and then check my lights of sight. Every single new line of sight, which will be this one, will be a score. I will get in this case 1, 2, 3 plus 2 yellows, 5 points.
Right.
And the turn goes to the next player. The other option I have in my turn, if I decide not to enter into combat, is to move the moles I have available in the board. In that case, I will move to an adjacent hexagon, and again, 2 options are to be chosen. One is to flip the tile. If the tile is from an opponent or neutral terrain, I will switch it for one of my own. Or my other option is to move to an adjacent tile and play a card as we saw before. After moving all the moles I want, we check for the new lines of sight and score. We will keep playing in turns until we reach the peace card, which is hidden.
Cute picture, which I'm just going to put that out there so everyone can experience the joy of peace.
This is the peace card, which is always hidden among the last 5 cards of the deck, and when it appears, it triggers the end of the game. We will have one more round, so everybody has to play exactly the same number of turns, and finally there will be an extra scoring phase where you get all the cards you've been playing during the game. You have your own discard, and now you start checking for majorities. If you are the player who have played the most combat cards.
So we've got a whole bunch of little corner symbols here.
There are 4 types, which is combat cards, special cards, movement cards, and construction cards. And the majority of the 4 will be checked at the end of the game, and also each set of one of the 4 cards will be awarded with extra points at the end of the game. One of the big points of the game is that the game comes with 22 types of cards, but we only play with 7. So depending on if you get a lot of combat cards or if you get a lot of movement cards in the deck, the development of the game is completely different. In the rules we have 4 suggested combinations, one for starting players, one for 2-player game, which is a little bit more tactical, other for more strategical. And we also create here in the back of the box a randomizer, so you can randomly pick the 7 kind of cards you will be playing. So that's what we're presenting basically here. This is our second game of
Congratulations. So did you have a particular inspiration for the art on this? Because it definitely looks like one artist did all at least the card illustrations here.
Yes, our illustrator is Pedro Soto, which is also part of Looping Games. So we keep them inside the company. And well, initially the game was completely abstract. Actually there was no board, there were only the tiles flipping in a table and so on. But where we were changing a little bit the rules because it was too abstract for some new players. And finally, when we came up with the lines of sight, we decided that moles would be good animals and they are blind.
Exactly.
So having the topic of lines of sight with the moles matched perfectly, and that's why we started to develop the idea.
Yeah, because I mean, every picture, you know, if it's not evident on camera, yeah, they're all little mole soldier guys.
Yes, and well, in the end, when we are playing, we will have 7 different type of cards. Some are combat to eliminate opponents' moles. Some are like the press support, when you get extra points because the press is talking well about your moles in the battlefield, so you're doing great until somebody else gets the card. You can conquer other guys' barracks and switch it to your own color. Well,
I was going to say, I mean, the icons are so clear that as you're putting them down, I'm actually doing a pretty good job just guessing what it is without even knowing the game, having played it before.
Illustration design behind that with Pedro Soto.
Yeah, no, it's extremely well done. How long do you think a full game would take us?
For a 4-player games, the designer says that can be played below 1 hour. But I haven't been able to do it. Between 60 and 70 minutes for a game, that would be a correct time. Yeah.
Well, thank you both for being able to stop by. I'm glad you were able to show it us yourselves. So that's Victor and Perepau from Looping Games. And if you want to check that out, this is Topoum.